All right, chiropractors, welcome back. So today we're going to talk more about how to grow your practice. We're going to talk more operationally today. How do you grow your practice in regards to people? So many of you probably already have employees, right? You already have people doing things. Now, if you don't have employees yet, right, and it's just you or you and a partner and you're just kind of doing things on your own, this is great. If you do have employees, I want you to reconsider the employees that you have. And I know that sounds kind of harsh, but it's the true reality of things, okay? So when you're growing a practice, right, there is, and this is coming from someone who's grown $6 million practices, 1,000+ patient visits a week, yada, 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 right? There's a sequence of hiring that needs to happen, okay? And I'm going to explain this to you. Now, some of you may not agree with this, but I do have to state, like, if you don't agree with it, that's fine. You can keep doing what you're doing, but you have to ask yourself, are you piggybacking knowledge off of previous chiropractors who don't have big practices, right? Or don't have highly successful practices that are making big impact on the community, right? Or on the state, hopefully. So here's what it should look like when you're trying to grow your practice in regards to people. So usually what happens is chiropractors start to grow their practice, right? And they launch it. And the first thing they do is they hire a front desk person, right? That's usually the first hire, or it's like a spouse or something like that. That's fine. If you want to hire a front desk person, have at it, okay? That does help unload some administrative burdens so that you have the ability to be a chiropractor more. Now, I do think that there is potentially a better way, because when I'm looking at a business, I'm looking at it from a business person's point of view. I'm not looking at it from a provider point of view. I'm not looking at it as a piggyback off of old providers or providers who have done it in the past. I'm looking at it as, hey, I'm a business person and it's my job to make sure that this business grows. It puts out a really good service, right? That gets really good outcomes. And if you do that, then you have a business that takes off. If you don't do that, then you have a business that will not take off, right? It's not going to do well. It's just going to be a mediocre at best business. So that's where this is coming from. Now, this is what usually happens, right? So chiropractors get into business. They hire a front desk. That's their first thing. And then they typically hire like a CA, right? And that CA does some kind of like meaningless stuff, right? That CA is not doing like rehab with patients because a lot of times there's not enough trust, and Trust equals training, okay? Especially in the chiropractic world. If you don't train them to do the things, then of course you're not going to trust them to do the things, right? Trust equals training. So usually I'm gonna hire a front desk, I'm gonna hire a CA, I'm gonna hire a second front desk, and a biller somewhere in there, all right? And that's not necessarily a terrible order. It's definitely not what I would do, okay? So what I would do is, the first thing that I would do is I would try to figure out in my practice, how can I better take care of the front desk duties, right? And so what this might look like is a little bit different practice orientation than what you will do in the future when you have a front desk. But right now, the goal is to squeeze profit, right? So I want to be as lean as possible, right? And what I'm going to do with that additional profit is I'm going to use it to develop more new patients so I have more profit, okay? That's the mentality of running a business, right? What can I do to make sure that I'm lean and I'm developing more profit so I can take that profit and dump it into acquisition of new patients, right? That's what grows the business. So what I would do is I would figure out a way that patients can check in, preferably by themselves somehow, or they come in and they just get routed right to your room, right? And you start adjusting them and you do the check-in procedure and you do all of that, right? And you do the note and you do that on time while the patient is in the room, right? So it's like you greet the patient, you begin your note, you adjust the patient, you finish the note, and you check them out. And you do all of that at the same time, right? In your room. This is if you're a small practice. And I would do that until you have enough money to hire a marketer first, right? The first thing that you need to do if you want to actually grow your business, right? And I don't mean like grow it like 10% over a year. I mean, do what I did, which is 400% over a year. You need to invest in marketing, right? And you have limited time. And so you need to leverage money for time, right? That's what you do as a business person. You leverage, I have money, but I don't have time, right? So I need to leverage money for time. So hire a marketer first. And there are specific types, right, of marketers that you need to hire. Like they are a type of individual. And we get into that in like our coaching and stuff like that. It's a long explanation and we will help you figure that out for yourself. But in general, know this. Think of it this way. When you're out and about and you come across a really good salesperson, what are their attributes, right? What are their attributes? And you're looking for that person. Now, there's a better way to do it that we give you in like coaching and training, but I'm just telling you as like a compact version, because we're focusing on hiring, is like the first person that I would hire is a marketer, right? And I would figure out how to handle the administrative duties as part of the new patient flow. Then once I hired a marketer and they were trained and they were bringing in new patients, right? Well, what does that mean? Like, how many patients should a marketer bring in? If they bring in less than 20 a month, they are garbage, right? And I don't mean they're garbage as in they're the wrong person. It's typically garbage because they don't have the right training. They don't know what to say. They don't know when to say it. They don't know how to get patients signed up at wherever they're at, right, at the time. And they just don't follow the system that our marketers follow, where it's like they will produce 40 to 60 new patients every single month. Every single one of them will do that, right? And that's because they have the training, they're the right person, they're in the right seat, and we train nonstop, right? So I train them nonstop to make sure that they have this down pat. It's like they should just be able to, like, in their sleep, just ask the questions that they need to ask the patient and get them converted onto an appointment, right? Because if we don't convert them, this comes out of a moral and ethical point of view. If we don't convert a patient in pain, where are they going? They're going to their GP, right? They're going to their GP, and what are they going to get there? Most likely they're going to get a pill, right? And that's usually their pain reliever, like a high dose NSAID, or maybe even an opioid. They're going to get a muscle relaxer, or they're going to get like a gabapentin, right? They're going to get a pill. Does that actually fix the problem? No, it does not fix the problem. It just masks it. You know it, I know it, the patient even knows it. But humans like instant gratification, right? The instant gratification is like, oh, I feel so much better after taking this pill. And that's an issue, right? Because the problem's not actually getting fixed. And you know what happens after there, right? It's like the patient returns to pain. They either up the dose, they give them a cortisone injection, which is garbage for them, or corticosteroid injection. And then once that all fails, because nothing yet has addressed like the underlying biomechanical issue, then they're going to go off to surgery, right? And it's like, hopefully the surgery's successful, but a lot of them aren't successful, right? And then that patient's going to live in pain. Well, why did that patient go down that path? Well, it's because your marketer or you did not do the right things to get them converted to becoming a patient, right? That's the hard truth. Nobody likes to hear that, but you just didn't do the right thing. So a good metric, if you're looking for a marketer, is if they're in front of 10 people, random people, and I don't mean people in pain, I mean random people, they should convert 30% of those people to becoming new patients, because pain is everywhere, right? So, and that's an average, right? So you need to take an average after they've been in front of 100 people, right? If they're in front of 100 people, they should bring in 30 new patients, okay? Because pain is prevalent amongst the population. So out of 100 people, 60 of those people in America are going to be in pain, and they should convert half of those people, okay? That's a good marketer. That's what they should do. Now they have to have skills, they have to have training, they have to have role play. They need to know what to say, when to say it, how to say it, all of that. But that's what they should do, okay? So as I digress here, back to that. So I would say hire a marketer first, right? And that marketer needs to get out in the community, and they need to bring me at least 20 new patients every month. And then I need to put them on a plan. If you don't know like the plan portion, go to my page, and there will be how to grow your practice, and it'll be foundational concepts, okay? And that talks about plans. It's a long explanation, so I don't want to explain it here. You need to put them on an optimal plan, and then what will happen is you will get busier, and when you start feeling like there's no possible way that you can take care of all the administrative checking in, checking out, and seeing patients, then you put an ad out for a front desk person, okay? But you have consistent new patient inflow, right? Because your marketer's developing new patients for you. You're not having to do that anymore, except for maybe like a dinner talk or, a seminar or something like that once a week. They're doing it for you, right? So that means you have more time to see patients, more time to take care of administrative duties. Then once you're at max capacity, then you can hire a front desk person to offload that, right? And what will happen is your duties will come down a little bit so that you have more time to see more new patients. So then the next step, right? So hire a marketer first, figure out the flow. Don't hire front desk first, hire a marketer first, get them trained, make sure they're successful, make sure that they are bringing in 20 new patients a month, pay them on commission. Do not pay them $17 an hour and expect them to perform for you. That's not going to happen. My marketers could bring in 6 figures easily, okay? Why? Because that 6 figures means like $2 million for the business. Pay them well, pay them a good commission, okay? Give them a little base and then pay them commission. Now, hire a marketer, do the admin check-in, check-out stuff by yourself until you absolutely can't do it. And I mean like you're running around, right? Like you can't keep up, okay? And then hire a front desk person. Now what has happened? Well, you just offloaded that task, right? And now you have more time to see more new patients. And what does that mean? Well, it means that your sales cycle needs to be complete now, right? And so what I mean by that is you need to have a marketer first, and then you can hire front desk when you're at max capacity. And then you're going to hire a care coordinator, okay? And a care coordinator, you can think of them in the business sense. What I think of them as is they do inside sales, right? So they do inside sales. They help patients realize their need for care so that they actually get care, so that they don't go down the traditional pain management approach that fails, and then they get cut on for $50,000, okay? So then you're gonna hire a care coordinator and you're gonna get them trained, right? Because they need to do a consult. They need to do a beginning part of a report of findings. You need to go in and deliver the clinical portion of the report of findings, and then that care coordinator needs to close them on the care. And that care coordinator should close 70% of those patients, okay? That's the consistent amount. They should close, at minimum, 70% of those patients if they're good. So now what that does is now you have new patients coming in, right, from your marketer. You have a front desk you've now leveraged your time, and now you have more time to see patients. And now you have a really defined new patient and report of findings process that converts really well. Because the truth is most providers, and I mean most, and this is not to be offensive at all, but most providers are horrendous salespeople, and it's just because your empathy is too high, right? If you do watch that video, which I recommend, Growing Your Practice Foundations, what that will talk about is why that is, right? Like why providers are not the greatest salespeople. I've had providers do it and they don't close 70%, they close 30 to 40%. And what that means is that the remaining 30 to 40% of those people are going off and entering the traditional pain management route. And that you can't feel good about that as a chiropractor, right? So you're gonna hire a care coordinator and you're gonna get them trained to convert really high levels, 70% of patients. And what that will do is then that will increase the amount of patients that you see, and you'll start reaching higher capacity again, right? And you're gonna see that level, right? You're gonna see that level until you see no less than 150 patients a week by yourself, right? And I know some of you are new grads and you're like, I don't even know if I can handle 100 a week. Well, let me tell you, as you're in the business and you do it more and more, what you'll find is that most chiropractors can handle 200 to 250 patient visits a week while giving that patient dedicated time to make sure that they're heard, to make sure they're addressing everything, and they can do that consistently over time, okay? And I know that sounds wild, right? Because if you're new, you came out of chiropractic college, like, man, I saw 4 patients today. That was a lot, right? I'm telling you, most patients don't need more than 10 minutes, right? The other time is usually spent on BS, right? It's like, did you see the game? How was the news? How's the family? Like, you're not getting really focused on that patient and being like, all right, Mary Smith, you have back problems. It's stopping your ability to go to the zoo with your grandkid. I'm going to do my assessment here. Here's what I'm finding. All right, so we're going to adjust this. We're going to adjust this. We're going to adjust this. How does that feel on each one? And get feedback, right? And give explanation, and then give them an expectation of what they can expect going forward until their next visit. Take care of their note and move them out, right? What that says is, I'm here to service your primary need from me. And what that is to help you with your pain. And really greater than that, right? The foundational issue is biomechanical function, right? So that this person could be out of pain long-term, okay? That's what your visit should look like. It should not take 20 minutes, right? It just should not. And if it is taking 20 minutes, I need you to look at the principles of how you practice, and it needs to be carved down and really focused, okay? And I know that some of you are not gonna like hearing that because you feel like it's poor patient care. Well, let me tell you, greater than 99% of the patients that came into our practice met their functional goals 100%. That means Mary Smith couldn't walk a block. Her goal is to be able to jog 2 miles. Mary Smith jogged 2 miles, right? Within 3 months. And so they met their functional goals. The outcomes were there. I tracked all the outcomes, okay? The outcomes were there. And we were able to see more patients, which means we have a bigger impact on the pain management population, and divert even more of them away from the typical pain management approach, right? That is a win-win-win. And all the providers saw those patients for about 7 to 10 minutes, right? And they gave them really focused attention. They talked about their functional goals. They did their assessment. They adjusted them. They did maybe a little soft tissue work or some dry needling. And then they gave them an expectation. This is what you can expect over the next few days. And then they sent them out until they came in the next time. That should take no longer than 10 minutes, okay? So once you reach where you're seeing 150 new patients, 150 new patients, that's like what we see a month, but 150 patients a week. And now you need to start looking at, how can I add to my dollar visit average while also serving patients at a greater level, okay? So what you'll notice is that when I'm running a practice, I have two goals, right? I have healthcare, business goals, right? Healthcare, empathy, optimal care, taking care of patients, making sure that they reach their goals. Business, I need profit. I need this business to grow so that I can do more of this, right? It's a self-feeding cycle, okay? So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a CA, okay? And that CA is I'm going to train them on how to do rehab, okay? I'm going to train them on how to do chiropractic rehab. And what that means is that now the plans that you propose, once again, go watch the foundations video so you understand the plans concept, okay? The plans that I'm going to propose are now not just going to be chiropractic only plans, they're going to be chiropractic plus rehab, and they're going to do them both on the same visit every time, okay? Every time they come in, they're going to get chiropractic and they're going to get rehab from the CA. And so I'm going to hire a CA. And these people are everywhere because a bunch of people got exercise science degrees and they didn't go on to post-secondary education. And so they didn't go on to graduate level education. So they never got to the next level, right? And so, but they want to be able to do that, but most of them don't want to be personal trainers forever. So you hire someone like that. You teach them how to do the exercises, okay? You teach them how to go through that with the patient. This is perfectly within your professional bounds. This is done everywhere. The insurance companies know about this. You actually have a leg up on PTs in that you don't need to hire a licensed individual. You can have as many CAs as you want underneath of you. You just need to make sure that they're trained properly, okay? Trained equals trusted. Trained equals trusted, okay? So train them on how to do the exercises, and now your plans are going to grow in value. And the patient outcomes are going to explode, right? Because now you're essentially doing, physical therapy, right? Chiropractic rehab is what it's called, physical therapy with chiropractic, and you're doing it together, right? Your outcomes will increase, okay? They will get better. People will be better longer. Therefore, your credibility as a chiropractor will go up. And as your credibility goes up and more people start talking about you, you'll start getting some organic traffic coming in your door at an increased rate. So let's kind of do a summary here so far. So first person I would hire, I would not hire a front desk first, right? Your primary goal in the beginning is to develop a new business, and that never stops being your primary goal. But in the beginning, you need to survive. You need to thrive as a solopreneur, okay, at this stage. So first person you hire is a marketer, okay? You take care of the administrative duties yourself. When you're at maximum capacity, like you are running around like a madman, then you hire and train a front desk, okay? So now you have a marketer and you have a front desk. Then once you're back at maximum capacity again, where it's like you are just maxed out, right? Then you're gonna hire a CA. And that CA is gonna peel patients off of you to pull pressure off of you and do exercises with them. And they can work with, 2 to 3 patients at a time. And so you pull a CA off, or you pull a CA and they will pull patients off of you. So if a patient comes in, what they're gonna do is they're gonna get routed to the CA first. They're gonna start doing some exercises, and this allows you flexibility in your schedule, because then you're gonna pull from the CA in order to provide the care, okay? They're not just gonna come in and expect an adjustment right away. You're gonna start pulling from the CA, from the rehab bay, in order to do adjustments on people, okay? And that's the order, right? And you should be able to take that up because it's gonna be one visit, technically, right, on the schedule, one visit for rehab and one visit for you, right, as a chiropractor. They should be scheduled like separate so that you know where patients are in the cycle, okay? So now that should take you up, and once you get to 300 to 350 total patient visits, right? And what this will feel like to you is you're running around like a madman, right? Once you get to that level, right, then you can look at hiring an associate, or you can potentially hire another CA if you're comfortable adjusting more people, or you can hire, I would say an associate or CA should be your next hire. Now, billing. Most of the time when you're a young practice, if you're working with insurance companies, you should be doing billing in the evenings, okay? Or you need to have a software that like packages it all up and sends the claim out right away, and then you can troubleshoot it in the evenings. I wouldn't hire like a dedicated biller until the practice is doing like 400 PV, or you're just at max capacity. Like a biller until you have 400, 450 PV practice is a luxury, right? Like if you want to run a lean model and scale your practice really hard, do the billing on your own. And do not make the mistake of hiring a biller right off the bat and you have no idea how to do billing. You need to be proficient in billing. That is your lifeline, okay? That is how you get paid. In no other industry Does the owner not know how to bill for their services and get money? No other industry does that. Your industry should not do that either, okay? So hire a biller when you're at max capacity, right? And even if you hire them sooner because you're like, I can afford the luxury, and you don't want that additional money as profit, I wouldn't do that. I would do the billing in the evening, spend a couple hours every evening doing billing because my notes are caught up, because I'm doing the note in the room. So I'm never behind on notes, right? I would then do the billing in the evening, right? Even if you're like, well, I'm gonna take my last patient at 4, I'm gonna do billing till 6, and then I'm gonna get out of there. And the reason I say that, the reason I say, well, hire an associate, don't hire a biller right away, hire an associate, learn how to do billing, or hire another CA, is because what I'm looking to do is increase your capacity, right? Because you're the primary provider right now. So you can hire an associate, and then you can take half of your patients and transition them, right? Because right now you only have one marketer, remember? So you're gonna reach kind of a cap of what they can produce. You can take some of your patients and transition them, and then you can go out and do marketing, right? Or you can hire an associate associate and another marketer, right? And that marketer can fill that associate up, right? And you're gonna need another CA, okay? So here's the general hiring protocol that I would follow. This is only if you really want a big practice, right? If you want a practice that is tiny and you're okay with that, then so be it. Just know that every potential patient, every person that's out there that's in pain that you didn't come in contact with, but you could have come in contact with, that's gonna get funneled down the traditional medical cycle, is on you, right? If you can live with that, so be it. So let's kind of summarize. First hire, marketer. Second hire, when you're at max capacity, front desk. Third hire, care coordinator. I missed that in the last one. Care coordinator, so your closes go up, right? Fourth hire, CA. Your dollar visit average is going up and your outcomes are going up. Fifth hire, either another CA or an associate, someone to take some work from you, okay? Another CA or an associate. Then directly after that, hire another marketer, okay? Because you need to increase your new patient volume even more, because now you have an associate schedule to fill up. Or you can take all of your patients or half of your patients and put on the associate and do marketing yourself, right? It just depends. I would tend to hire a marketer because it's a specific personality type, okay? So hire another marketer. Now what's happening is, instead of 20 new patients a month or 30, now you have 40 to 60 new patients a month, right? And then you're just going to start building out your crew and that capacity, right? In that process. And the process is hire a marketer, hire a front desk, hire a care coordinator. Care coordinators can service typically up to like 600, 700 PVs per one, because they're usually spending about 30 minutes on 20 minutes on a consultation and 30 to 40 minutes in a reported findings with you, okay? So care coordinators, you don't have to hire at the same rate, but the order of importance for hiring: marketer first, front desk next, right, to increase your time, right, so you can see more patients. Then you're gonna hire a care coordinator, right, so that you can get increased closes. And then you're gonna hire a CA, and you're gonna package together rehab, and you're gonna train that CA how to do rehab. You're gonna train them, okay? Hire a CA, and then you're gonna hire an associate, and preferably, if you can do it at the same time, hire another marketer, right? And now your associate can pull pressure off of you, and you may end up having to hire a CA at the same time or within kind of like a month, right? It depends on how fast this marketer gets up to speed. So if this marketer gets up to speed and they're out there producing after 2 weeks, you need to get an associate going, and you need to get a CA going, because then now you have a duplicate of you, right? So you have your CA, they have a CA, they're seeing patients, their rehab tech or their CA is doing rehab, your CA is doing rehab, etc. And they don't have to be like doctor specific like that, but just for ease of understanding. And then you need to hire another front desk, right? So that's like the general expansion guide, okay? So that's how you hire to make sure that your business is going to grow rapidly, okay? I'm gonna say it one more time. Do not hire a front desk first. If you're in that position right now, you have made a mistake, okay? And I never like to advocate for people being let go, but if you're not gonna let them go, you need to hire a marketer next. You need to hire a marketer right now, okay? Because you need more business. You need to hire a marketer, you need to get them the training, they need to be skillful, they need to bring you in at least, at minimum, and this is a bad marketer, 20 new patients a month, okay? And I mean 20 new patients who came in and showed up to their appointment. So marketer, front desk, care coordinator to increase your closes, and then a CA to increase your total dollar visit average, right? You can do rehab and now you can do chiropractic together. And then an associate, a CA, and a marketer. If you can do it all at the same time, do it. Otherwise, just hire a marketer and let them get trained and start pumping in new patients. Hire an associate, hire a CA as soon as you can after that, and then hire a front desk, right? So that now you have 2 front desks. You should be able to run a 5 to 650 PV office off of this, okay? Off of this approach, where you just have 2, maybe 3 CAs, okay? 2 chiropractors, 2 front desk, a biller, and 2 marketers, right? That's a really small team. And you should be doing like a dollar visit average when all that is happening of about $100 a visit, right? So you can do the math. You see 600 visits, $100 a visit, that's $60,000 a week. That's $3 million practice a year. And you're doing it off of a really tight, small team, okay? I have run practices up to 1,100 patient visits. I would not recommend it, okay? If I had to do it over again, I would have 500 to 600 visit, like moderate sized clinics, right? And I'd have a bunch of them, because the team that it took me to run an 1,100 PV clinic, the labor demand goes up dramatically, the new patient inflow goes up dramatically, and you have to have like 25 to 27 people to make sure all of it works. Now, granted, I had medical in the practices that I run too, right? Where they're gonna get injections and things like that. But I'd have a big team. That's a management nightmare. You want small teams, okay? 1 biller, 2 front desk, 2 chiropractors, 3 CAs, maybe 2, maybe 3, it depends. 2 marketers and a care coordinator, and you. It's 12 people, okay? That's a 12-person team to produce 3 million. And you can help a lot of people at that rate. And then once you do that and you get it all kind of smoothed out, and we have like all the systems and training and all the things to be able to teach you how to onboard, how to train them. We will onboard them. We'll train them. We will do all of the like work essentially for that, except for office specific things, as well as, give you the templates for standard operating procedures, give you everything that you need so that the thing runs like a system and you have like a dashboard that you look at. It's like, oh, these are the stats, right? These are what's going on, so you can directly fix problems that come up based on the objective truth of the metrics. We would do all that. But if you're not interested in like getting training, which I don't know why you wouldn't be, that's how I learned how to do it, is I trained myself. That's the recommendation that I would have in order for you to grow your practice, okay? So a lot of you are gonna be like, well, I already have a practice, I already see 150 new patients, I have 2 front desk, I have a CA that like runs around and does bullshit, excuse my language, but bullshit. And I myself see, I see all the patients. What do I do? Well, you know what the order of succession is for employees, right? Match the order of succession and your life will get easier, right? Hire a marketer, hire a front desk, hire a care coordinator, hire a CA, and then do that again, right? Just like duplicate that cycle. Then hire another marketer, hire another front desk, hire an associate CA, right, together, and then somewhere in there hire a biller when you're at the point where you're like, yeah, I can have the luxury of having a biller. I'm not going to do 2 hours of billing every day or 3 hours or whatever it is, and then hire a biller. Okay, that's the order of progression that you should follow if you want a big clinic, right? If you just want if you want to piggyback off of what everybody else is doing, have at it. That's it. You can do that. But if you want a big clinic, if you want to be successful, if you want to be like a top dog chiropractor, right? You want to be big, you want to be known, you want to actually have an impact on mainstream healthcare, that's what I would do, okay? In fact, that is what I did, okay? In that order. And I'm going to repeat it one more time, okay? It doesn't matter where you're at, right? Whether you have a 100 patient visit office, a 500 patient visit office, a 50 patient visit office, your hiring order should be this. Marketer, number 1. Front desk, right? Support staff. Front desk. Case manager, care coordinator, inside salesperson is what they are. CA, right? Another provider, okay? And then a biller somewhere in there. And then another marketer, right? Because you need to increase your volume. And then an associate and a CA to take care of those patients, okay? That's how I would do it. And if you follow this and you have the skills that I have, I could take a clinic from like a 100 PV clinic to a 600 PV clinic that does 60,000 a week in 4 months, right? Maybe even less, maybe 3 months, 3 to 4 months. If you have the skills and you have the know-how and you can just start like pop, 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 that's how this goes, that's how this goes, that's how this goes, that's how this goes. These are standing operating procedures. You're getting onboarded, you're getting onboarded, you're getting on board, you're not meeting muster, so you have to go, you're replaced, right? That's how long it should take. It should take no more than 6 months to go from 100 PV, making like, whatever it is, let's say it's $40 patient visit average, 4,000 a week, 250,000, right? 250,000 to 3 million should take no more than 6 to 8 months, right? And if it was me, it would take 4 months. That's what it'd take. I've done it multiple times. So that's how you do it. As always, if you guys are interested in actual coaching, right? You're interested in like getting like the full package where it's like you get everything, right? You get all the training, you get a workbook, you get a checklist, this first, then this, then this, then this, then this, and then you implement it. You get training for your staff, right? A non specific clinic training. Your staff gets trained. You learn how to look for the right people. You have all the procedures in place. You have the complete sales training, right? How to do a proper new patient consultation, right? How to do a proper report of findings so that you can close 80% of your new patients. How to go out in the community and get patients for those marketers. How to find the right marketer. How to train your doctors to service patients properly. What does a plan look like, right? How to handle your finances so you have an ever-growing and expanding practice. You can absolutely work with us. But this should give you like an idea of how to move in the right direction, all right? So that's it for today. We'll see you next time.